Good evening, gamers, and welcome back to the weekly anime recommendation, or the war, as I want to start calling it. It's so stupid. I don't know why I want to call it that. It's so like over dramatic. Like I can say welcome to war. I don't know. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different than the previous weeks. I wanted to talk about current anime that's coming out right now, because if you're like me and you tried to watch some of the summer 2022 anime, you know it's pretty garbage, it's pretty shit. So there's Rent a Girlfriend, which, if I'm being honest, I've watched every single episode of. Don't watch every single episode of it, it's garbage, but it's not going to stop me from watching every single episode of it. Just bear that in mind. So there's that. There's Classroom of the Elite, which I've watched 6 episodes of. It's just so boring, I can't make myself watch any more of it. And yeah, there's just a whole bunch of what feels like sort of low budget, or not even low budget, but just low tier anime that's coming out right now. And so I basically just resigned myself to watching past anime and anime from previous seasons that I missed. But I was scrolling through Netflix the other day and I ran across this little anime that's coming out right now. It's called Uncle from Another World. And so instantly I was a bit hesitant to watch this show because I looked a little bit up about it and I saw that it was an isekai, which instantly had me a little bit scared because I've tried to watch isekai before and it's just not really my cup of tea. So I tried to watch Sword Art Online, which I made it to episode 16 because, yeah, it started out pretty strong, but I feel like it really devolved quickly. And yeah, I didn't give it any more of my time. Then I tried to watch Shield Hero. This was a couple, I don't know, back when the season 2 was coming out, so I kind of got hyped for it. And I made it to episode 4 and I was like, this is a snooze fest, it's not my cup of tea. So I quit watching that. And then for reasons that are beyond me, I decided to try No Game, No Life. And I made it exactly 4 minutes into the first episode before I hit a scene that I was like, no, I'm done, I'm not watching this anymore. Uncle from Another World is not really isekai. It falls under the category of isekai, but it's not, right? It's sort of a parody of isekai. So essentially the plot is this dude's uncle has disappeared for a while and he's just come back. He's like, I don't know, 30 years old or whatever. Believe it or not, he's been to this other world and he's just come back and he has all these magical powers. And so it's sort of marries slice of life with isekai. And I'd say the isekai elements are more parody than they are like true isekai, right? Like he's come to this other world, you sort of get glimpses of the other world through flashbacks. You piece together his story and what happened to him. But the whole time, it's almost like they're making fun of the tropes because the main character, the uncle, the 30-year-old guy, is so aloof in this other world. He basically circumvents all the tropes of an isekai. So it's like they're making fun of all these stereotypical tropes. Like there'll be like the anime girl who comes up to the main character and he just doesn't even know how to respond because he's such a gamer, right? So it's really funny, and I think they do a really good job of sort of leading into the isekai tropes rather than sort of making fun of it. It's a good parody in the sense that it doesn't just shit on the genre. It's a very tasteful way of making fun of the genre. Another thing I really, really like about this show is the way they treat the main character. So the main character is not like your typical isekai main character, right? Where you have like this angsty teen who's a gamer and his life sucks because all he does is video game and he can't get a girlfriend. And then he goes to this other world where all of a sudden he's like a super badass and he can just beat everybody up and everyone loves it, right? It's not like that at all. The main character is such a gamer and he's so aloof that whenever he goes to this other world, he's not treated as like this badass. They see him as like an orc. They make fun of him. They shit on him aggressively. Yeah, it's really, really funny. But the thing that I like the most about it, it almost preaches self-love, the show, because even though this main character is a gamer and he's super aloof, he's really happy. He doesn't care that he doesn't care that he's a gamer. He's proud. He wears his gamer badge on his like chest. He wears it with like pride, you know? It sort of shows that just because you're a gamer and you're into sort of things that people look down upon doesn't mean that you have to, be super cringy and you have to not enjoy the things that you love doing. The main character absolutely loves his life and absolutely loves that he's a Sega gamer, right? He doesn't care, and I think that part of it is really, really awesome. Okay, so this brings me to the things that I don't like about the show quite as much. The first thing I'm going to say is fan service. So there is some. I'd say for the most part they're making fun of the fan servicey isekai genre, but it is there. It is there, so I'm going to throw a bit of caution out there that there is a little bit of fan service. Secondly, I'm not a huge fan of the animation. I mean, it's pretty mid. It does the job. Like when there is an action scene, it looks cool, but it's not Fate, it's not One Punch Man, it's not Attack on Titan. And I mean, arguably, I don't know that every show needs to have that level of animation, but if they'd gone a little bit, above and beyond, it would have added to my enjoyment of the show. So I'm throwing that in there. Also, some of the side characters were just a little bit boring. Like, the only character I'm really interested in is the main character, and the other characters are just kind of there. Like, they don't really do a whole lot, if that makes sense. That brings me to my final review. So we have characters. I give that a 3 out of 5 just because, like I said, the other characters weren't really there. Animation, I'm going to give that a 3 out of 5 because the animation did the job, but it wasn't anything to write home about. In terms of like the anime like BS meter, I'm calling it, I'll give that a 3 out of 5 just because there was some fan service. It didn't really detract from my enjoyment of it, but it was there, and it's kind of the thing that you kind of cringe when you see it. It wasn't quite as bad in Uncle from Another World just because of the parody nature. Like, you could tell they're making fun of it, but it's there. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. And then finally, for the originality of the story, I'm gonna give that a 5 out of 5 just because I don't think they've ever sort of done a parody of the isekai genre like this in such a fun way. It really is a fun show, and I really, really enjoyed it. It definitely has provided a segue for me into the isekai genre in an approachable way because, like I said, I've tried to watch it before. I just haven't really been able to get into it. And it's really a show I'm enjoying watching right now, so I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely give it a watch. It truly is an original show, and I enjoy it a lot. So anyways, this has been the weekly anime recommendation. I will see you next week on another episode of War. Man, I can't believe I'm calling it that. But yeah, I'll see you next week, and take care. Bye-bye.